Last week, I was deep into a refactor when Claude Code told me I had 12% context left. I've been using the at file the way that everyone uses it by either saying at file name or shift dragging the file into the Claude Code interface. And it was about to auto compact my multi-hour session into a summary I couldn't undo. I restarted and used one line of syntax differently, and it finished the refactor much faster with much better context usage. And the idea here is that you're going to specify a certain set of lines instead of pulling in the entire file for that task that Claude Code is working on. Welcome to the new series where I'm covering the Claude Code / powerup lessons. And this is episode 1. Talking to your code. You can always check your context usage by running the /context command, and you can always see very clearly how much is available in your current context window. As you can see here, I'm currently on Opus 4.7 with the 1 million context, and I'm at about 18% usage. There's a ton of detail here if you wanted to look at it. As you can see, you have a lot of different MCPs, skills, plugins loaded. They're not all loaded all at once. They will be called at different times as they're being used. And the other thing I have here that I have very much personalized is my own status line. And this is initiated by using the status line command. So you can start creating your own version. And my version has the environment, the location, time, and weather. What version of Claude Code am I running? How many skills do I have available? Workflows, hooks. And you can see this context window is what we just looked at, right? So I always have a visual clue as to where I'm at with the context. The other important piece of information I have is the usage meter. So my 5-hour window as well as my weekly window on how much of that I've used for that period. The other really cool little tool I have is a rotating set of quotes that just kind of keeps it fresh for me as I'm working throughout the day. And here's some additional information. As you can see here, I do keep a running tally of how many tokens I've used during my Claude Code sessions. This is a total tally. It's, current month, last month tally, as well as a daily tally. Yeah, so I've been using this quite a lot. You guys can see here, I've used over 4.5 billion tokens in the last month alone. So quite a lot of use, but just a side note here, I've yet to exceed my 5-hour or weekly usage limits within my Claude Max account. I am on the $200 a month account, but even at the $200 level, I think I've only hit my usage limit, my 5-hour usage limit, just only once. Never ever hit my weekly usage limits, but my 5-hour, I've hit it just once, and that was just a little glitch when the Opus 4.7 first came out. But other than that, never had a usage limit problem with my Claude Code. Next thing I want to cover is your .claudeignore file. This is very similar to a .getignore file, which if you're running any sort of project, you will definitely have that. And what this means is that any item listed here will not be added to your GitHub repository as you're making commits and new branches and things of that nature. And very similarly, we're going to have a .claudeignore file so that Claude does not ever add any of these files into the context window as it's trying to work on different tasks for you. Very simple concept. And for me, I have some other scaffolding documents here because we don't need to reference that back again. And if I did need to do that, I can always add file name or add folder name for that specific time to give it more reference material if I needed to do that. But this is going to be an ongoing document where you're going to keep adding files to it as your project grows, so that it's just another method in order to optimize the memory and context usage within Claude Code. Okay, so the next command you should be aware of is the /compact command. And this will essentially shrink down your context window basically back to 0 and then summarize whatever is currently in this context window. And right now, we're only at 18%, so you typically wouldn't even run this. I find myself rarely running it, to be honest with you guys. When I do get to like 97, 98%, Claude Code will automatically compact that session. So if you wanted to just let it summarize and continue to update itself in terms of the context and memory. You can just let it auto compact, or if you want to prompt it, you can use the /compact, or if you want to completely clear all that context and start at 0, you can run the /clear command. So those are the /context command, the /compact command, and the /clear command. Those three you should be aware as you're thinking about your context management. SoccerSkills.app is a curated youth soccer training platform for ages U9 through U14 that'll cover the 4 pillars of technical skills, speed, strength, and injury prevention. It's going to be a curation of various training videos available from YouTube and other sources. Okay, so that's episode 1 of the production Claude Code series, going through the 10 lessons within the /powerup command inside of Claude Code. And lesson 1 is talk to your code base. And we've covered 3 primary commands here. One is the /context, so that you can see how much context is available for your current session. The other is /compact, to be able to compact your session so that you open up all that memory and can continue on with your session. And the last one is /clear, so that you can completely wipe out the context window and start from 0%. And a bonus command is a /statusline, so that if you wanted to create your own custom status lines similar to what I have here, you guys can do that with the /statusline command and get yourself started there. And in episode 2, we're going to cover the various permission modes that are available. And as part of all of this series, we're going to be building SoccerSkills.app, which we will use to build out a real production-grade application using Next.js and go through the 10 lessons within powerup so that you also can follow along and hopefully launch one of your app ideas and get that out into the marketplace. So subscribe and click on the bell to be notified of episode 2 when that goes live. See you next time.